Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. I'm back for the next part of the final Legend RTA push. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, see the video description below for a link to my Discord. Okie doke, so this match, if I remember correctly, was the first match of the final day. So I woke up Friday morning, I had gone to bed in Legend, woke up and I was, I think, decayed down to like Emperor 120 or so. Which is pretty typical. You know, the points climb quite a bit in the last week and they accelerate even more in the last 2 days. So you can see from the pre-bans that literally all the openers are off the table. Bellion's also off the table, so Stenny's a free / safe DPS. I shouldn't say free, I should just mean relatively safe. I take Hwayong in response, and I think Hangai's a good pickup. I didn't want to give my opponent Stenny and Hwa. I generally think of like the three fairly neutral early DPS picks as Apocalypse Ravi, Stenny, and Hwayong. And between the three, it's tough if the only one you get is APOC, I feel. Because APOC just doesn't have high damage output. Like, it's a very strong hero, but it just feels awkward into Hwayong and Stenny, because both of those are strong into APOC. So I take the Hwa, and then I take Hangai, because I feel like this could just go for a while, and I want to be able to cleanse and attack buff my Hwa so she can get the first turn. I think, you know, it could have taken AOL potentially, to deny it from the opponent. That's definitely an option, and then pick the support of Dien or Hangai, you know, later. But I think Hangai is good in this slot. These 6 units that you've seen selected, you know, on both, or 3 on each side, these were kind of like the core of a lot of standard drafts, I felt, on the last day. You know, people really prioritized these units. It was almost like a handshake, like everyone's just taking one at a time until they're all, you know, off the table. And then the last couple units are kind of more flex picks. We take Archdemon Shadow. I think this is an okay DPS. You kind of have to take something here that can be countered. There's just nothing super safe. If you take Aravi in this spot, you're going to get Ariad, so you have to be prepared for that. And if they take Arya, they could also take something like Operator Sigret, which would be really tough to deal with, right? Because you have to ban probably the Arya in that slot, I suppose, and then you have to deal with Opsig, who's just going to delete your Hwayong, right? So I don't think I could take Aravi there. The opponent takes Landy and FCC. We have to ban out the Landy. We don't really have a ton of reach for her. I take Destina last because she's, I think, a decent answer to AOL. She's high ER and she's also speed tuned to be faster than my Hwayong, so that I get, you know, that skill 3 off in the beginning. So the DN predictably takes the first turn, and you can kind of see the CR order there. It's Hangai, Destina, Hwa. Alright, so we have an option. We can skill 3 here to get attack buff and get the momentum rolling. Alternatively, we could hold. Could skill 2 on like FCC just to strip the barrier and do a little bit of damage. That's also an option. I think it's worth using skill 3 just to get that attack buff S3 off and get some early tempo. I really want to get FCC down, and like an idiot, I just attack into FCC. I don't know why I did this. This was a gigantic misplay because my Hwayong was naturally outspeeding, and by clicking FCC, I activated AOL's CR boost because I didn't attack her. And this kind of has disastrous consequences because it lets AOL skill 3 get rid of my attack buff, put silence on my Hwayong. So I've missed 1 full turn cycle of Hwayong now. And now she has buff block, so she doesn't get immunity. This is going to let Spectre Tenebria stun her, so I'm going to miss 2 full cycles of my Hwayong. Meanwhile, the opponent is just free to dump all their skills and damage into me, and I just kind of have to sit here and like get out of the debuffs. So that was a complete int. Not starting off the day super strong. But I'm going to try to stabilize. I figure if I can tank the damage, we can heal back up. Even if Hwayong dies, Destina has res, so we can bring her back. But yeah, really not great.
Give me strength. Well, I'm left with no choice.
There's also like a ton of skill nullifiers to work through because FCC uses her ability, and if we ever want defense buff from Aras, then we have to give him another skill null. So we're going to try to boost Huang up here to get a turn. I mean, ideally, she can go before Spectre to get her barrier back. I think she should naturally outspeed her because she's faster. Diane doesn't have the skill nullifier anymore, and actually we have Handguy going next, so we can boost her up for sure. I give defense buff because at this point I just need to protect my team as much as I can and try to get back to status quo. We're only killing one thing at a time, so the skill nullifier is actually not that big of a deal here because we could just pop it off with Handguy. We go into FCC, do a good chunk of damage. I think FCC is the right target. I was debating about just trying to kill AOL. I think that, or maybe even DN, but the problem is that if you don't go for FCC, then she's going to be putting barriers on whoever you are killing, and then there's also healing to deal with, and she has the Aureus, so that's three problems. If you go on FCC, you at least eliminate the Aureus share, and so your damage is more focused to get that one target down. So I think you have to go on FCC here. I don't think I have enough damage, even with Aros, to get down another target in a timely fashion. Maybe I should have just gone on FCC again. I just didn't want to boost AOL, and I wanted to get rid of a skill null. But we got a little barrier back there with the S2. I can keep working on FCC here, try to strip off a buff. I think we just pop this for healing. I can't really be greedy, we just have to use our skills to try to stabilize. Also, Destina's initial ER buff has worn off, so she only has 240 res now, which might put her in range of getting silenced by AOL, so I just want to use my abilities while I can. The good news is that by doing nothing for multiple cycles, we now have some souls, so we can soul burn and stuff. Although I guess we get silenced by Aros, that's awkward.
My goddess. Don't come near me.
So I think the opponent trying to all-in the Hua in the beginning actually saves me for a bit here. If they had held their souls and waited for a couple frenzy stacks, they would have just killed me. So I think that was a little greedy on their part. They kind of went for it, and if they just waited, they would have won from this position. That said, I think if I had played correctly, it never would have come to that.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so we have Aros. We can start soul burning. I guess we go on FCC. I think that's the right choice. We get the defense break, which is needed. We can go into FCC again. Okay, so here, that's the power of Adventurer Ross. He is an Aureus holder. He gives you a massive barrier if you get nuked. He can put defense buff on the entire team to protect them, gives immunity, and in addition to that, he can act as a DPS pulling in your highest attack hero with defense break. It's like quite a loaded kit, actually, and it enables these like really tanky comps, because oftentimes if you try to do this, they can put you in a position where you like don't have cleanse, right? You have tank but no cleanse. But because you have Aros, you can take cleanse, tank, tank, DPS or something like that, and they have to give you, at least 2 supports, right?
At least try to make it fun.
Okay, now they're going into Aros, trying to get him down. I desperately wish I had souls to soulburn this, but we don't. We'll just go into AOL. I figure she's probably squishier, and if I miss, I don't think I kill on DM because she has the shield. And I just want to get another target down.
Be punished.
It would have been nice, I suppose, to deny that attack buff there at the end. I'm looking at the CR bar here because I want to put barrier up on Adventurer Ross, but I don't want him to die, but we get this CR boost here, so I think I'm going to lap around before Steny gets to go, and we can get the barrier on him then.
Come to me.
Lucky dual attack. I guess he's CR boost or something on skill 1 there. These specialty change heroes have so many little hidden things. Oh, and then we defense break DN, so that's obviously huge, so that's game over. That was good RNG, but I think we'd won from that point anyways, despite the initial blunder. Okay, next up we have a game against Vaxis. He's in Yigi, which I think is, it might be Jagan's Guild. We can take Apocalypse Ravi here and give us the option to go into Ran if we want. So he takes Spectre and Troublemaker. I think Troublemaker, you know, is kind of a hedge against Cleave, but Spectre is fairly cleavable. I'm also sick of people taking my Spectre so early. It's very rude. So I think we should go Ran here. You know, now the question is, like, if we take Ran, what else do we take? If we want to commit to Cleave, we take Politis. And if we want to not do that, we flex into something else. We also don't have to take Ran. Let's see, if we wanted to do something more standard, he's banned Hua, we could take, I mean, we could take AWLDN, honestly. But I'm down to Cleave. We can take Ran here. And then, you know, if we're going to do that, we might as well take Politis. Oh, no, wait, AOL's banned, so can't do that. Could take AOL and ARAS, I suppose. Or, not AOL, I meant DN and RAS. Or Handguy RAS, something like that.
Get ready.
That might have put me in a better spot, because playing into Troublemaker in Standard I feel is better than, like, trying to Cleave into him.
This is only a temporary.
You know, you could argue on the flip side, though, playing Standard into Steny is worse than cleaving into her, so it's kind of whatever. So he takes Rem and Fallen Cecilia, so he can probably see the Pavel coming, because that's what we want to do. So we take, you know, could take Pavel, and you could do Ida, but Ida's a little spooky with Rem and Troublemaker. You know, you could get stunned, you could get countered, like, a bunch. So maybe Summertime Iseria could be better. He has one cleanse with Troublemaker, but he doesn't have Delavet, so I think we're still okay to Summertime Iseria here. And then the question is, do we want a Pavel or not? Pavel's a little weak into Fallen Cecilia. Hopefully we could ban it.
Let's subdue them all at once.
So I think the plan here was to take Pavel. I think I take too long, though, and then I kind of panic scroll, and then it'll, like, auto-select Pavel anyways, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I was thinking, like, oh, maybe we take Handguy against Rem, but that would have been bad. So the game knows better than I do. It picks Pavel. That was the intended pick. You can take Handguy against Rem because he gives immunity, but then if he bans out APOC, it's pointless. So Meat Eater would not be a good pick. He last picks RB, so I think we just ban out the Fallen Cecilia. That's the most mitigation. We have a couple answers to RB here. We have Pavel, we have Politis. So not really scared about the RB. If we defense break, then I think we're good. Yeah, I should have just taken Pavel without hesitation. I guess the one bad thing would be if he picked something I had to ban last, and those things could have been Assassin Sid, because, you know, that threatens to outspeed. That would have been scary. Also, something like ML Ball could have been scary. We can put up immunity. If we defense break the RB and the Rem, that would be the best. I mean, obviously we want to get Spectre 2 and stuff, but we have a lot of damage for Spectre. So Rem and RB are the ones we care about. We get Rem. I'll take it. We don't get RB, and we get 2 bombs, which is, like, unheard of. So we can Soulburn Pavel here. That'll take care of the Rem and the Spectre. It'll probably kill Troza too, honestly. But he'll have Holy Sack almost certainly. So now we have to figure out what we want to do about this Arbiter Vildred. If we had defense broken him, he would have just died here, I think, and then we would have just skill 3'd him, and it would have been over. But now we have to kind of manipulate stuff. So I think killing Trozit's the move. If we attack RB, we get countered probably by Trozit, knowing my luck, and then, you know, that's bad. Or, you know, at the very least it bumps up Trozit, and then RB also gets bumped up, so kind of bad news all around. Now we can Soulburn Iseria, get the first kill. He'll come back, but since we Soulburn, we get another chance. And we can skill 3. This won't kill him, probably, but it will put attack down, and that should save my team if he's attack downed. If he gabs, I might be dead. If he is gab.
All that's left is
So he does not gab.
Can you here. The approaching.
If we didn't lose the skill null on Trozit, it wouldn't have mattered if he gabbed or not, because then Ran would have just killed him on the lap around.
Situation is critical. Humans are
But the
true.
attack down did the job.
I just feel sorry for
It's only natural. But still, I shouldn't brag.
them. Do not interfere.
This time we have a Huayang AOL ban from the opponent along with my Conquer Lilia's Bellion ban. Looks like the opponent is hovering Golden Warriors trying to pick the banned Conquer Lilia, so he takes Handguy instead. So we can just take Ran Apoc here. I'm so sick of playing standard into Handguy, I just want to blow it up. If we wanted to go standard, I guess let's see. Because AOL is banned, we could take Dien Hua. Oh no, Hua's banned. Dien Steny or Dien Apoc.
Alright. Show me what you can do.
Would probably be the options. But I think Apoc Ran is fine here. Handguy doesn't do a whole lot against Cleave. Maybe if he's built like absurdly tanky and you can't kill him, but you typically can. Okay, so he takes the Designer Lilibet. So Designer Lilibet is good into Ran. You can take Politis in response though.
Kiss my feet.
So if he had taken like something more tanky here, I think I would have flexed out. But he takes Spectre Tenebria, so we can take Politis and Pavel, and I think still threaten him quite a bit. I've been on the other end of this multiple times, and I can tell you from experience, like I'm not the most experienced Ran Pavel cleaver, obviously, as you can see from the last two matches, but I've been Ran Pavel cleave quite a bit. And I can tell you that taking Steny is greedy, greedy, greedy. You can't do it, no matter how much you want to. Every time I've taken Steny, I've either lost or I've gotten really lucky to win.
Let's begin.
So he takes Fallen Cecilia and Assassin Sid. So we have to ban the Acid. Maybe if I was, you know, some like crazy person who had a 310 Pavel, I could ignore it. I guess alternatively we could take a Speed Imprint, could be an option. Maybe like a Watcher Shuri, maybe. And then we wouldn't have to ban the Acid. But I don't love that. We could just take more damage like Ida and then ban out the Acid. He does have, you know, Spectre, but... So we have Politis, so I don't think that Designer Lilibet will cut. So actually, I think his ban here is probably Politis, but he doesn't. He bans Ida. See, if he had banned Politis, then we can't skill 3 with Ran. But with Politis, we can. Which means that we can get Defense Break, and then Dilibet will not cut. Pavel can skill 3, and if we defense break Steny, he's dead. Because Designer Lilibet is not going to solo Apocalypse Ravi. So we check the CR bar. Designer Lilibet's at 66%.
I'll show you the path to victory.
She typically pushes up 40%, but that's halved with Politis.
If you won't step back.
People always complain about how like no brain cleave is, but you have to do math. So we do not defense break the Steny. That's a bummer. But we defense break Fallen Cecilia and Mediator. So see, if we had defense broken Steny, game over. I think now we just go into Mediator probably. He's defense broken. I wonder, this splash might kill
Target down. Mission
Fallen Cecilia with the Aureus. Oh no, never mind. Pavel S3 ignores Aureus. Ahem. Like I said, not the most experienced Ran Pavel cleaver.
I'll take your life.
I guess now that it's preseason, I should maybe just play this more.
Your dead comrades are waiting for you.
Okay, we kill Fallen Cecilia. We get Politis back because I deserve it.
For the finale.
And I think we'd won anyways, even if we brought back Pavel. I don't think he can kill APOC in time. Cool. Okay, next up we have a game against Light. Very spooky. So I have to say, like, going back over all these games, like, I knew I was making mistakes. I'm amazed at how many I was actually making. I'm making a lot of mistakes. I'm not a perfect player by any means, but I thought I was playing better than this at the very least. I think it benefits you to go back and look at your gameplay. You really do identify, errors that you make, and hopefully you learn from those. So I pre-banned Ran here. I don't want to fight that thing against Light. He's faster than I am. He takes APOC. I mean, I can still take Conquer Lilius here because Ran's off the table. I see Lilius is 309, so I can speed contest, I think, his other stuff with a 309 unit. Okay, so he takes Apocalypse Ravi and Politis. Politis is annoying, so if they don't take Politis, you can go like Amelia Huayong or something and be very aggressive. But the Politis can really kind of put a damper in that, and you don't have the APOC to kind of, be that anchor and buffer and play the longer game. So I'm just going to take Hangai Hua and try to shift into standard maybe. This was something I really hated doing in previous metas, but now that Adventure Harass is a thing, I really don't mind it. Because it lets you play that solo DPS if you have to. Okay, so he's taking Pavel. So that kind of discourages me from going like DN or whatever. I guess he's taking the DN. I don't want to take Landy. I think we're taking Aras for sure. That could help prevent Pavel from nuking something. I think we let the Pavel through because I was fairly confident that I can outspeed with my Conquer Lilius, which I will reiterate is 309 for the purposes of this match. Yeah, so we take Aras, and then we need another DPS hero, and I think it might have to be Archdemon Mercedes. I'm not sure who else to take. I guess it could be no, SSB is bad into Pavel, but SSB would normally be an option if you could ban, but we have to ban last here, so we can't take SSB. So I think it just has to, like, Archdemon is what I could think of. I mean, it's like that or Rylot. Could maybe take Steny. I'm obviously thinking about it here, but I think there's too much AoE damage with the Politis, which is going to be like full nuke, right? Plus the Pavel, that's a lot. And if he bans out the Aras, I think Steny is just dead. So I don't think we can take Steny. I think this puts us in a position to ban last. He's taking maybe Arya? Arya is not bad. I kind of want to ban it just so that, we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, because, oh, alright. I thought he was maybe banning Archdemon if he was picking the Arya there. Because if we had solo Hua into Arya, that's scary. So I think we did have to ban it. He just goes for the mitigation ban. And then my 309 Lilius gets outsped by a Pavel. Because it's light, I guess. So that's the thing. I should have checked the CR bar. I was just kind of stunned. Later, I think I heard that he swapped the speed between his Ran and Pavel to make the Pavel 310 to prevent people from using Delibet against him, which is smart. But only, an option if you can make a 310 Pavel, I guess. So now we have to play without C. Lilius. I was really hoping I'd get that Vigor buff. I'm just going to immunity here. I take a bunch of damage. That was probably the wrong move. It was actually really greedy. I had already taken a ton, and we have APOC coming up with a skill 3. We do get a counter. And then a proc. That kills Politis, and I guess makes it even worse for us, because now that empowers APOC even more. Yeah, I should have just skilled 2 to get a barrier. I had immunity, right, already, so didn't need it. I mean, the attack buff is obviously nice. So now we're just going for it. We gotta rip everything. I think we just rip it into this APOC. It's already damaged a bit, and we have attack buff. Oh, I think we go into APOC. Oh, that's... I think that was a misplay. Yeah, we go into DN here. I think it was like, oh, I can kill... Yeah, I don't know why I just didn't go for the APOC kill. I guess I was afraid I didn't kill, but I had attack buff. I'm pretty sure I killed there. He misses and doesn't kill. Justice.
I desire your flesh.
Okay, so to recap, I misplayed twice. I activated Politis and took a bunch of extra damage, and I probably could have killed APOC if I had confidence in my Hua. Alrighty, here's a game against Era Says. I think he also finished Legend this season. I thought I saw him on the list. So he's one of these Spectre Tenebria Huayang pre-banners. We're going to take Conquer Lilith anyways. He takes Hand Guy, and then a Ross. So he's doing the tank down thing. So we can expect a Lionheart Sirmia to come out shortly. You know, usually Huayang is your big weapon against that, but these people pre-ban her, so can't use her there. I think Amelia is still good. He hasn't taken Politis yet. So we can take the Amelia. Spectre would also be another safe DPS option that is pre-banned. Could take the Aravi, but then you might lack damage. That's my only hesitation with Aravi, but I don't think there's really any other safe DPS you can take here. Can't take LQC, could get stripped by Hand Guy. Don't want to take another support. You could, I mean, I'm just taking Landy here. I just didn't want to take APOC because of, you know, like I said, the lack of damage. I mean, Landy is good into Mediator. He has 2 supports already, so I think he'd have a hard time taking more supports like AOL. Oh, I guess AOL's pre-banned. I did that because I was smart. But, you know, other units that would counter her, like Milim, might be a little hard to take. We could take Kisei or something. I think Kisei could be an option here. You know, she's fast. The problem is, like, I don't have like a 310 Kisei or whatever, so can't kill the Politis before my non-attack, you know, supports go. So it's a little awkward because they just kind of have to pass their turn. I guess we take the APOC now. I should have just taken APOC in the previous slot. It doesn't really matter here, I guess. And last, I mean, I think this is a Strays angle. None of the opponent's units have revive of any sort. So I think Strays is pretty valuable here. So basically the game plan, I guess, is to... We may have to activate Sirmia, but we can just Strays something out the gate. He'll get invincibility. It doesn't really matter if Sirmia hits him. I built my Landy tanky enough to take a Sirmia rotation, and then we can just hopefully get value off of, you know, the enemy buffs and take him down. Ideally, we get to ban out Politis here. He takes LQC. That's even more mitigation. So I just ban that. It also threatens Aravi a tad. You know, with the nuke. Maybe I should have just taken Politis. Or banned out the Politis. Because then I can't press my buttons. I thought for sure he was going to ban this. I think, like, looking at his draft, he would ban the Strays, is my assumption. And if he bans Strays, I need my APOC to anchor. He bans Celilius. Yeah, I think so. I think the crazy thing here is that if we had banned Politis, it obviously would have worked out for us because we would have just boosted Strays and then deleted something. Or boosted Landy to boost the team and then use Strays or something like that. But now we kind of have to pass the rotation. We can't... I don't think we can, because Politis is at 67. She gains 30, and we only gain 25. So she goes to 97. But she's on Crown. Oh, I guess we just go for it. Yeah, so we should cut. But we lose our attack buff, probably. Yeah, we do. I can math. Kind of. So we don't get attack buff. But my Strays is on Copium Gear. I think he should kill.
It's time for the finale.
Oh yeah, this was the game when I was like, I'm rebuilding Strays. He's getting like 200 more MCD, and he's also going to be faster. Because my Strays was sitting on like very, very much hand-me-down gear. He was like 240 speed, I think. He had a lot of attack because he was on an attack neck, but he only had like 250 crit damage. It was pretty bad.
Alright, let's do this. Take this!
So he's going into Landy. Oh, he gets the stun. That's nasty. But his Politis does negative damage. So that's a plus. We can cleanse away the Politis debuffs here.
I never fight a losing battle.
And Landy is at full stacks and ready to go. We can just skill 2, I guess, for damage. Makes sense. And you know, the interesting thing is he banned out C. Lilius, and now he doesn't really have an activator for Lionheart.
I'll protect you. Son of light. Burn!
I'll take your life.
His Lionheart is also super slow. I think we just work on Politis now, because she's back around to her passive again. And we want to be able to press our Amelia buttons. Okay, he just executes Landy there. Yeah, I don't think we can press on Amelia now because it'll activate Politis again. And we really don't want to get stunned on Aravi because we want to be able to res, right?
The time has come to blight the world with horror.
If I must fight.
Could have just gone on Aras, I guess. I think it was better to go on Politis, though. Hypothetically, if our Aravi gets stunned... Oh, she does. You know, we just want to kill Politis. Oh, I guess he gets another Sirmia skill 3 here.
You're not half bad. I'll give you a taste
Unideal.
of defeat.
I guess he's debating if he wants to hit Aravi or if he wants to work on Amelia. Yeah, at this point we just have to get our Aravi a turn. He doesn't have a ton of damage he can threaten her with. If he soul burns, or if he skill 2s into her, whether he soul burns or not, he's going to push her up. And he's going... Oh, he attacks with Politis. She has higher attack. Well, I guess now we can just push. And if we get stunned, we get stunned. But this gets rid of defense break. Okay, no stun there. Okay, and we get the turn, so that was definitely worth. Now we can kill Politis, and I think we just win from here because Sirmia should not solo this, especially with no activator. We get Strays back.
Come on, I'll take you all down.
I guess Landy would have been better, but like I said, from this point I don't think we lose. Look at this Stray's value, though. Is he back on his skills? He may be.
Fall to despair.
He can skill 2. When does this ever happen? When you use Strays and you wrap back around. How bizarre.
Are you sure you can handle this?
Your life ends here. bunch of imbeciles.
Okay, game. Alrighty, going against Ellie, pre-bans Ran and Hwyong. So this was like the Ran Hwyong draft was kind of like a Cleave opener that was going around on last day too. I guess this person's had enough. First pick's Hand Guy. Let's see. DN, AOL, they're both open, but the opponent's already taken Hand Guy, so I don't think we have to worry about him stealing the DN. So we can just take the AOL here, and it looks like he's strongly saying I'm playing standard, right? If he's first picking Hand Guy. So I think we take Stenny here. This could be risky, like this response, or rather these two picks, could be risky. If the opponent is a cleaver, you know, like they could Politis cleave you. You know, I guess technically Pierre is open, but with the Hand Guy already, it just like, the draft is not going to be that aggressive this early, probably. You know, and Ran is off the table, so it feels more safe to take this. What's kind of interesting about this game in the meta right now is it feels like there's no perfect response in, at least, you know, early in the draft. In previous metas, like there was like a very clear, like I'm taking this unit first pick every time, or, you know, I'm always responding with these two units if this one's first picked, etc. But there's so many extra variables now with the double pre-bans that I think you have to look at it not as like, what is my perfect response here that it has like no counter, because that doesn't exist. Instead, you have to think about it as, I want to maximize my chance of winning. So your response to, you know, a first pick could be to play like as safe as possible and be like, ooh, I really don't want to get Cleave, so I'm not going to take Stenny. You know, I'll take Aravi instead or something. But maybe while that response is better into Cleave, it's weaker into Standard. And if the opponent is suggesting with their pre-bans and their first pick that they're playing Standard, then it's probably better to pick, you know, with that assumption. And maybe, you know, every like 20 games that's wrong, you know, and you get punished for it. But the other 19, you know, you're rewarded, and like your overall win rate is going to be higher, even if you do get punished on rare occasions by doing things like that. And I think it does benefit to kind of think about the early draft that way. So let's see, he's taken Aravi and Fallen Cecilia, so that's like super tanky. That looks like playing too safe, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's a lot of mitigation. I think Aravi is fine. I don't know if you need to take FCC. And, you know, in response, we take the typical ARAS and DN. I think he would have been better if he took ARAS instead of FCC. For sure. So he takes instead, he ends his draft, I mean, with Amaro and Green Celine. Green Celine can be annoying, you know, like you don't really want to press your buttons. But if you just don't press your buttons for 1 or 2 cycles, she typically just dies. Taking Landy here, I kind of assume he's banning it. And, you know, if he's going to ban the Landy, I want to ban the Hand Guy. I want to ban Hand Guy or Mitigation, maybe. Because the Archdemon Mercedes kind of puts you on a clock. You want to be able to kill it before it can get the ultimate off. Yeah, we just banned Hand Guy. He banned Stenny, which was kind of shocking. I was expecting a Landy ban, honestly. But now we get some value from our AOL, I suppose. Have to be careful because using AOL can trigger Celine, but once we get Celine down, you know, we just start pressing buttons. If he wants to break Landy out of stealth, he has to give her skill null, which is kind of nice. Although that would trigger Celine, who clears the skill null, but still. At least that way you don't get Celine.
This is what the goddess wills.
Okay, a really ballsy play here would just be to slam S3 and just say bring it. But I think that would be the wrong play. So we just go 1 in. I think we're just going to go for the Celine kill. So here we can just Soulburn Aras. I think Soulburning Aras is the right move. If we defense break, we probably kill. And either way, we pull Landy, we get the defense break. We don't kill. This is a tanky Celine. But we can. This will push Landy up, and now we can skill 3, push the rest of our team up. And we're skill 3 and into defense break here. So that kills. And now we can press buttons. So if we land silences here, especially on APOC, we do. You know, APOC can't go for the res. And on our cycle, we're going to get anti-crit up. Fallen Cecilia can't really press skill 3. She would just give skill null to Amaro, and that will let us...
Is that all you've got?
you know, get skill null. Alright, we get a skill null that way, that works. And I think now we just put up anti-crit. Alternatively, we could boost and then Soulburn the skill 3. This is, I guess, a little greedier. I think the play here is like silence APOC one more turn.
Please move aside.
This gets more damage out. I guess we don't get attack buff. I think skill 3 in there was probably the right move. Doesn't really matter. Our Landy didn't stealth. So we do kind of want to get her back into Guiding Light, unless I can't remember, maybe Amaro popped her out.
I hope you're ready.
Just go for another defense break. We get it onto Fallen Cecilia. I don't think it matters too terribly much how you sequence at this point, because I think we've won.
I believe this is what the goddess wills. You pitiful beings. Death is your
I think my concern was I didn't want to cycle out of defense break,
Your word.
and then give Archdemon, or not Archdemon, I'm sorry, Apocalypse Ravi an opportunity to kill something with skill 3 easily.
I will guide you through the light.
I just attack Landy. I attack
Should we get
APOC here because I didn't want to risk a counter from Amaro.
Take this.
Ooh, that defense break does so much damage. Aras is so good. He's crazy. Yep, that's game.
My word.
I'm left with no choice.
Why not surrender?